Hello and welcome back to Part 6 in Slices. I'm Sam.
And I'm Jim.
And we're back, and today we're covering 3 episodes instead of 2. 19, 20, and 21, because these are kind of, actually these animated, kind of all over the place, so it's really hard to kind of...
What are we covering on this podcast? What is this podcast for?
Part 6 anime, recap discussion.
JoJo.
Of
Bizarre.
course. He forgot about Part 6 anime because, God forbid, Netflix did. But we're covering Yo-Yo-Ma /FF /Green Baby, all the greens. It's just a hodgepodge of like bullshit.
I've been waiting with bated breath for months for Yo-Yo-Ma,
and
let me tell you,
I
was disappointed. I thought this arc would be funnier. It wasn't.
It felt like these 3 episodes lasted 2 fucking hours. It felt like.
They were very slow. The first episode was at 18, you said? 18, 19, or no, 19, 20, 21.
Yes.
Episode 19 was very slow. Almost nothing happens.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy it very much.
See, we have like different things to talk about, like either just Yo-Yo-Ma, just the Green Baby, and the whole Poochie versus FF stuff.
Yeah.
Which I feel that one just...
Probably the best part of it. The best aspect.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so I guess we'll start with the birth of the green.
So I had like a lot of vague recollections. I remember there being like a weird thing that happens to all the prisoners. Interesting. I like the idea that all the corpses that had been like inflated with water earlier are now being used as like vessels to grow the baby.
Yeah.
I still don't quite understand what's happening.
They become trees to become photosynthesis to grow the baby. It's just weird how like, it was an activated bone of a vampire who has the body of a Joestar.
Yeah, so just to run the events down. So it's one of Dio's feet bones.
Yeah.
Which all obvious foot fetish parallels. A lot of fetishes
Yes.
in this part. So it's one of Dio's feet bones that got touched by Limp Bizkit.
Yes.
Which somehow imbued it with a sentience.
It turned on the ghost, but not like when you think, oh, maybe the ghost of Dio would activate. It just like turns on like
yes,
the
baby.
The regrowth system of a vampire.
So yeah, it makes his bone sort of sentient in a way, or at least it's kind of like it's animated, and then it goes around. Somehow it like I guess it implants these trees, these plants, these growths inside of corpses, and then it sort of feeds off the corpse to like create this womb, this sort of like plant womb that has the titular green baby, the eponymous green baby.
I think when I read this for the first time, I was expecting, okay, they're just trying to remake Dio. That's what I thought the thing was like they're regrowing Dio in a weird way, in a weird convoluted way.
And I really like the idea, and even like so that's not what's happening.
No.
But I really do like this idea. I think it's very weird. It seems like Poochie at all times seems like he's extremely incompetent, but also extremely mastermindy.
He's kind of just doing this plan, but doesn't know what was going to be the step of it.
Everything works out for him so well, but there's no way he could have anticipated this chain of events.
Yeah, he is very surprised. Yeah, he's very surprised at one thing, like not knowing what's going on with the baby and like what it's doing, or like
even just seeing like the human reaction to it in the second episode. Like the random prison guards were like, "What the fuck?"
We were gone for 10 minutes.
Like, yeah, we went to take a shit, and there are like these giant trees there now.
There was also the scene we had at the very beginning of the JoJo in the facility.
Oh yeah,
with like the speedrun patient, like, oh yeah, he just walks around, then either in a sleep-like state, like a coma, wakes up, goes back to sleep in a cross leg position. His stance activates randomly too. But and then also he has like Jolene inscribed into his arm, and then Jolene also has her name inscribed in her arm because they're connected.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was really weird.
So yeah, they've got it's I guess it's kind of tying in, and we see this later in the part. There's like this same thing we saw in part 3. There's this family connection with stands. Like stands have like this actual tangible like I was gonna say tangible ethereal, but that doesn't make any sense. They have this like tangible effect where there's like real like line of connection between the family. It's kind of like the whole Red String of Fate thing. like thinking of like Your Name and
if only JoJo had the name Holly inscribed to his arm when he was fighting Dio to give him like the inspiration to beat him even more.
And then Holly wakes up. Why is my name written on my arm? In my own blood?
The fuck.
But yeah, it's I think it's fine. Like it's one of those things. Just it's not really like something that I want to think about too much because it's just like, oh yeah, like Jolene's got a connection with her dad. Like
yeah,
I like kind of bringing that aspect back because from the beginning of the part, it's almost like Jolene wasn't connected to the Joestar bloodline because she didn't have her stand awaken like naturally like the other ones, our former protagonists did.
But she went through daddy issues of I hate you, Dad.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until he was fucking dying or
she's like, wait, maybe I don't hate him.
Maybe I like him now because he's like sacrificed himself. He's like I actually loved you this entire time. Wait, now you like this is now I'm learning this now.
And from the perspective of like how these are dropping in parts, batches. I like that they include this early. Or it's actually not early. It's about halfway into it. I like that they include this here because it kind of reminds you, oh yeah, the Jotaro thing was kind of like the big climax of the first batch.
It's very, very similar to like we do have those cutbacks to Holly in like part 3, and like kind of see, okay, this is who they're fighting for and like what they're going on.
Yeah, to bring the context back because especially part 3, it's so easy to get like completely sidetracked.
Oh yeah, we're not just doing this shonen monster of the week kind of stuff. They should have a goal.
Yeah.
But
then they have a gambling episode right after.
They have to fight a baby stand and feed it its poop.
Yeah, Sam and I made a lot of baby stand jokes.
There are
there is literally a baby stand, and there also is the
writing
hand.
on the arm.
Yeah.
No, so
and then the fucking Yo-Yo Ma thing with the writing when she can't talk.
Yeah,
there's so many baby stand connections.
So one of the first big things that happen is a reminder of, oh god, Anasui. He wants like, hey FF, I want you to trip her. I don't know why FF goes along with this.
Yeah, I don't know if FF goes along with it either.
He's like, I want to catch her with my arms and make her. I know a lot of people stan Anasui. I would if it was the femme Anasui, I probably would stan because I fucking love that design still, I really just don't like Anasui. It's like the whole thing with even people stan Joshi when he did like horrible like creeper stuff. Even like I think FF says like he's like sexually harasses. He's like a sexual harasser and he's a fucking creeper. I know people like love him and like they like think they are a romantic couple, but I get nothing. Like it's a known serial killer.
So okay, so I think just to like give it a little context for the viewers. We did 3 of these in one day.
Yes.
3 episodes of this in one day, and then we took a break, and then we're doing these the last 2 today. But I shouldn't have said that. But we're doing whatever. So
give you a time frame.
I'm looking at the comments because we did get a few comments about Anasui.
I think I did ask, what do you? I think I said say like people who like him. What do you like about him?
Yeah,
with like a question.
I'm trying to pull it up. Just to look at a few examples, but a lot of them were basically kind of along the lines of what we said, where it's like, oh, it's funny. Like he's like a funny character because he's such a simp and no one likes him, and it's like it's funny that he thinks he's so suave but no one likes him. And I mean, like, I guess that's if you want to like that kind of character, you can.
he's physically like gaslighting Jolene to be like, oh, I'm going to make her fall and catch her in my arms, and that will make her love me.
Like it's funny sometimes.
Yeah.
But to me, okay, so yeah, like one person said Anasui is supposed to be a joke character.
we don't like, this is a very serious part. We don't need joke characters.
Someone else, I honestly enjoy the stupid bullshit Anasui pulls. For what it's worth, his romantic interest is not taken seriously by anyone and actively makes things worse. It's only really relevant after Sea Moon. Let me enjoy the copium. Jeez, man.
I think because like I don't like when he does it during a serious like stand stuff is going on. Like there's a time and a place for your bullshit, but not during a serious shit while like everything's a threat right now.
Yeah, I think I don't know. Like the general consensus that I'm kind of getting is people like that he's kind of so absurd, that he's so silly. We also got a comment that was like, "Hey, how do you guys feel about Greed Island and Hunter x Hunter or Skype and One Piece? Ready for early 2000s Shonen Jump drawn out explanations of powers, both lore, and the science behind it all."
They're both great arcs.
That's very funny. I like that parallel. But okay, yeah. I just wanted to kind of like, because we had talked about it and I was curious too. And as I said, like, I understand how someone can like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't really work for me here.
Like I said,
I just don't think it's very funny.
I mean, like I said, there are tropes that like I kind of grown to hate, and I think like the creepy pervert or the creepy character that simps over a character, I kind of grown to hate that trope a lot.
Yeah, and it's one of those things too where you think about when JoJo was written. Like, this was written in the early 2000s. That was a time when like the exposure to that trope that we're speaking of now, and a lot of tropes, has become so oversaturated. So at the time, it probably didn't ring as hard as it does.
It's always that, like, the female Anasui and that rumor. I'm not sure that's ever been confirmed. But
It's absolutely not true.
Kind of like if that was real, I was thinking like, man, like so like what would have happened? It would have been a joke character. But if that's not real, then like whatever.
Yeah, as far as I know, that's like not true. But yes, so. Anasui, whatever. I like the, at least like the one thing that is interesting about him is the bullshit he pulls with his stand.
Also, one thing, like, his outfit, it looks like a tank top. Like it looks like a flesh-colored tank top with like the lines over it.
So what I think is actually happening is that it is just that like the straps, yeah, on the front, and then the back does have.
It's very weird.
It is weird though, because I know what you're talking about, like where his shoulders are. His traps, I guess.
Yes,
that's where they like it. It looks like a tank top. It's a tank top there.
It's weird.
But then if you look under his armpits, there isn't like a similar connecting. It's very confusing.
Yes, but we see the creepy guy who grabbed the bone early on. There's some really good animation though with like him turning into like the flower, with like the eye becoming a flower, and like
that part was really good.
Also, just like Anasui somehow going, "Oh, this is not a stand ability." I'm like, motherfucker, this is the first thing I would think of. Oh, this is definitely a stand ability.
He literally sees like a bunch of trees that grew in like 5 seconds. This probably isn't.
This man cannot figure out Yo-Yo Ma's ability though.
Yeah. Honestly, he's just like, sometimes his brain cells are full force, sometimes they're like dying.
But yeah, there's some really cool stuff in there. And then like his head explodes. Like, I think that's probably the best animated thing in this art episode we've watched is like the blooming stuff.
Yeah, there's one scene where his eyeball turns into a. Who is it even? It's just a random guy.
It's just the guy who grabbed the bone when all the gates opened up. Because D&G is watching everything. Dolce and Gabbana.
Yeah. Menacingly from the shadows.
It's World War I German helmet.
Which you also said that would be like hilarious that they allowed him to keep that in prison, like easily used as a weapon to murder someone. But yeah, the animation of his eyeball like turning into a flower was actually really cool. They did a good job.
But then Jolene gets it, and like also Diver Down can just do whatever it needs to do because it just goes inside, gets rid of all the fucking flowers on her. It's a literal what's like the Asuna spell in Final Fantasy just cures you of all status ailments for just touching you, or like
just like anything.
Yeah,
because if you think about like what he was doing, it wasn't like
Anasui's not a healer. He's like a fucking like status cleanser.
he literally just like pushes out all the growths that are in Jolene's face. So I mean, like, that still would hurt. Like, it would still rip the flesh out of her.
And then he also nibbles on a flower. Like, oh, this is just a bone. This is a normal flower, huh?
Yeah, which that's also like kind of interesting, and I like the idea of like they're giving him like a sexy scene in like a non-sexy, like it's like it contextually like, makes sense that he would do that.
Like the weird people that have like eat the sushi off of people, like, or they eat food off of women, just be like do like a really creepy thing, just eating on them. Like, this is normal sushi. But yeah, we see we see the little baby in the I guess cocoon. I guess
I'm gonna call it a womb.
The womb, the cocoon. A cocoon is just a womb, Jim, in a way.
Kinda. I mean, like,
it's nature's womb.
Sam, wombs are nature's wombs. Cocoons, as far as I know, cocoons are normally like the creature is already like birthed by the time that it enters a cocoon. Yeah, that's, I guess, whatever. This is so semantical. By the way, I'm gonna speaking of green things. In my garden, in real life.
Oh boy, Jim Garden Talk.
So I neglected my garden for a bit, as I tend to, and then I go out and I'm like, all right, I gotta start picking things. So I go out and I have a lot of tomato plants, and I saw the dreaded green hornworm. Which, if you're a big tomato fan out there, you'd know the green hornworm is a crop destroyer. Those guys they look just like tomato leaf plants, like the color, so you can totally not even notice them. But I look at it and it has all these little white dots on it. So I'm like, what the fuck? And I look it up. Parasitic wasp. It will find the hornworm and oviposit its eggs inside it. they hatch and then they eat it from the inside out. Then they go through the skin and the cocoon, and then they become more wasps.
Gross.
My bro, this parasitic wasp, keeping my garden safe from the dreaded hornworm. He is my bro, yeah, or she's my bro.
You're gonna receive hornets though hatching out of it.
They're good hornets.
They're good hornets, sure.
They're good. They're the good kind.
But
they go after the bad pesties.
We see it, but anyway,
cocoons. That's why it was a cocoon connection.
Gross. So we do eventually see our weird human Gucci or Guccio,
right? Guccio.
But his name, obviously,
his
name is
Gucci,
yeah. And he looks like a cat. He has a Kappa haircut.
It's so funny. I didn't realize that until you said it. I was like, oh my god, he is just supposed to be a Kappa.
He's a Kappa bull, but he's a fucking Florida man creature.
He's hideous.
And like everybody, and like, help me, like everybody in this mass security is either a serial killer, rapist, or a mixture of all.
Or a stand user. That's gonna come kill you.
Yeah, and yeah. Anasui just like strokes his chest and like, so he also just sets up traps.
So yeah, it seems like when he did that, because after he did this, Gucci acts so weird. So what happens, I guess, is he just completely like realigned all of his ribs to be like a bear trap,
and I guess his brain too to tell him to just walk
straight,
walk towards the fucking stand user or something. I don't know.
Which hey, it works.
I guess so. Only attacks his arm.
Also, when they leave, I like how Anasui like uses Diver Down to like go through the wall and put like his hand out so you can like climb up the wall using like the hand.
Also,
like,
I was just like, who is this man? I'm like, if I see any person in the JoJo universe with like a word or like a band reference on their outfit, I'm assuming they're a stand user and that's their stand.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah. Oh yeah, user survivor.
I'm pretty sure like Highway Star had like had that written on his outfit.
I think you're right.
Like either that or it was written like on the stand itself.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we also learned that he was also Survivor's user because he just literally poops one out after he bites DNG's arm.
Yeah, and it's a 3D model.
Yes, we see. Sure, we'll get to some 3D models later on. But
sad they didn't make a 3D Yo-Yo Ma.
Yeah, we finally meet Yo-Yo Ma. He eats the cocoon. He does makes the branch chair. He licks her boots.
Yeah, he doesn't do the match game though. I actually missed the licking of the boots. I totally missed that part.
Yeah. Also, I
was looking forward to it.
Like me and Jim were like, wait, when did she even get her coat back multiple times? Like, and Jim looked at them all like, oh, she does have her coat during this, and then it just disappears later on. Also,
and I think you correctly surmised why it appears and disappears. We'll get to that.
Yeah. But
because as you know, dear listener, I'm not a fan of Jacket Jolene. I like when she has no jacket on.
I like her being the Joestar that like prominently shows off her birthmark like all the time. I love that.
Her design, her silhouette is so much better when she does not have that stupid trench coat on.
I agree. As I said, her outfit perfectly like supposed to be showing all that off, and I feel like they covered it up like half the time.
Yeah.
I think if every other Joestar, it's because like Joseph had the scarf that covers it up most of the time. I think probably Gappy is probably the closest like Joestar that probably shows it off a lot. Maybe Jonathan with his tight ass like end of part 1 outfit.
Well, Jonathan doesn't have it technically. Canonically, Jonathan.
Technically, but
technically we never see
the anime even corrected that, but
did they actually?
I mean, the anime went.
I thought they only added the scene in part 4 when you see it with Joe.
I feel like they showed it in part 1 and part 2 just to like okay, yeah, she did have it the entire time.
Maybe show me the Carfax.
I'm not googling it right now.
But yeah, because I know that like in part 4 you don't actually see Josuke's. They actually added a scene in the anime.
Yeah,
because it wasn't shown in the manga. I guess it didn't really become a thing until part 6. In hindsight, it's a big.
I thought the Giorno had. It's where Giorno has it.
I would go either way on this one. Like, I'm sure that Giorno. Wait, does Giorno actually have?
Yeah, he has a birthmark.
He has a birthmark.
Yeah, why wouldn't he? He's technically Jonathan's kid, technically in a way.
He's Dio's kid.
Yeah, one of his 2 dads is Jonathan.
Okay, yeah, he does. I guess he does have it. I couldn't remember.
I am corrected. They have the birthmark. Don't gaslight me.
Now I need to look at Jonathan.
I'm very sure the anime did add why? Because Dio has the birthmark, Jim. Why wouldn't Jonathan have?
I mean, yeah, you're right. Okay, it looks like they did add it.
Yes.
To Joseph, I think.
I'm pretty sure they probably added to both of them.
All right, this is unimportant. Oh, what they actually did, it's almost like a blink and you'll miss it thing. They did add it for Jonathan. Okay.
Yeah. Which I think is a nice touch. But so back to your favorite stand, Yo-Yo Ma getting its fucking head and brains obliterated multiple times. You kind of learned that it is like invulnerable or just has a healing factor, but it also it's like back-to-back neutral stands essentially, or it's not even neutral, but it's like
talkative stands
that like goes against the user, and like this reveals the name of the user, where they're at, like what happened to them.
I don't know if he goes against. He's still like activated.
He's activated, but he just tells them like that's why FF stays behind, because it just reveals that the stand user is left behind injured.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we kind of like.
Let's call him Cheeky. Automatic stands.
Also, like I said, he's voiced by Shigeki from Part 4, which I think is a good voice for him. They both look the same, essentially.
I always wanted him to have like a big, deep, dumb oaf voice. I always thought that made more sense. Like, hey, Jolene.
I got like sniveling like goblin child voice from him. But yeah, FF stays behind. She just has her face like blown off from because we realize that Yo-Yo Ma's saliva is like the danger part to it, kind of. And yeah, that's how that one ends. And Yo-Yo Ma's also just weird and just knows facts about everything, like frogs, fan boats.
It's kind of weird. So yeah, so he eats it. So they're like, okay, we got to get out of here for a bit so that we can get the baby out.
Yes.
There's something kind of weird about the structure there, because I remember like thinking back after I'd read Part 6 and it'd been a while. Thinking back, I was like, wait, like why did they leave the prison if they didn't like leave the prison for good? Like they didn't escape in this arc. They just like get out on the swamp for a bit.
Yeah.
It's just kind of weird.
It is kind of pretty weird.
It also is just a way to like change the background so that the fight's in like a different location. It's also not really a fight. I wouldn't really call this a fight.
It's them like tolerating him until FF does her job.
I want to see like, you know how people make like super cuts on YouTube and be like, oh, like Jonathan versus I can't think of.
I'm gonna say like those like the Hunter x Hunter like thing like, videos of like the time things linked up to like real time like the boat.
No, but like people will do like whatever Giorno versus Ghiaccio, and then it'll just be a cut of all like the fight scenes. How would you even do that for the Anasui versus Yo-Yo Ma? Because most of it's just them talking and being annoyed at each other.
It's literal like this is filler that's going on until like the user is dead, because they can't combat it. They just
more or less.
If they like literally like, threw him off the boat and kept going off, like I'm not sure if it just suddenly appears next to them, but
yeah.
But they just take him with them.
And he does just also suddenly appear.
Yes.
All right, whatever. I'm done. I'm done talking about this.
But this next episode, which is FF The Witness, like I said, the episodes really care about Yo-Yo Ma. None of the titles care about Yo-Yo Ma. And
despite him sticking around for about 3.
Yeah. So guards, it's so funny to see like these fucking guards have like insane weaponry. Like their weapon budget is insane.
They're shooting. They are going to kill. Like they will murder the people.
They're no crime against humanity of having explosive collars on people. They have like Browning machine guns, like LMGs on fan boats.
How is it legal? Is it legal to murder? I guess it doesn't matter if it's legal, but is that really like the procedure? Like, okay, prisoners escape, we must murder them. Like,
you have like
capture is not an option. We will murder them
unless they somehow manage to get a weapon. Like, I'm pretty sure they like try to bring them back into arrest them back, but they just went guns blazing on like on unarmed prison escapees. Or I don't even know if they even know Anasui's a prisoner, because he stays in the ghost room the entire time.
Yeah,
like Jolene's probably well known for just being constantly in the trouble. Or the murder.
She's always doing that Trey Jolene face that everyone loves.
Trey Jolene. But, what's it called? So, yeah, it's a lot of, like, Yo-Yo Ma stuff. Like, Yo-Yo Ma, like, brutally killing him, like, hurting himself.
I like the, So, one thing I really like about Yo-Yo Ma is the scariness of him, like sneaking up behind you at, like, a opportune moment.
You think he's gonna bite you, but mostly like, the mosquitoes getting his saliva, which I guess they're not his mosquitoes. They're just mosquitoes of the Florida Everglades, and I guess they can notice the stand saliva, because the guards don't notice the stand. They just said, "What the fuck hit us?" when they throw him at him.
Yeah, which is funny.
But the mosquitoes can detect his saliva, right?
Well, these mosquitoes at least are covered in his saliva, and then he sicks them on it. Also,
but they're flying around in his mouth. When he opens his mouth, like 4 mosquitoes fly out.
Yeah, and they have the saliva on them.
He is consuming various stuff though, but.
So another thing too. So whatever, that's part of it, and that like the visual of like having holes on your face because the mosquitoes are like burning through. Pretty cool. Reminds me a lot of the first arc of Part 8 when Josuke like removes all the water from that woman's body.
That was his mother, Jim.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, that's why he captures Aqua Necklace by punching through his mother's stomach because he drinks the water
Part
bottle.
8. I'm talking about Part 8.
Part 8. I'm talking about Part 4 Josuke.
I did say Josuke, which is
I was
confusing.
assuming the Part 4 Josuke when he punched through a woman through his mother and got the water out of his stomach.
When he said that, I was like, wait, did I miss something? No, but in the beginning of Part 8, when he's in the hospital,
he
uses one of his bubbles to dehydrate a woman, and
that's right.
The water just pours out of holes in her face, face and breast.
She's like, wow, I'm sure thirsty today.
Yeah, she's like, water. It's really funny.
Water.
But
both Josuke's love dehydrating people.
But we have the thing that I think it's weird about Yo-Yo Ma is like they don't understand why they're still getting attacked even though he's not doing anything.
Yeah.
So apparently what he did was he spit a bunch of his saliva in the water.
And the boat is just splashing water at them.
Yeah. So that just makes me like I just am very confused about the logistics of this. It just doesn't seem like I don't know. Like I just don't quite get it. I think this could have been done better. If it stuck with the mosquito thing, I think it would literally be like fine. But like, does it not affect organic material? Or does it only affect organic material?
I'm saying like if you just span the ocean, so the whole ocean is now like instantly affected, like no matter where they go, and like it's gonna piss off Notorious B.I.G. to just in the ocean somewhere.
And like if this acidic spit is really in the water, would it not just also destroy the boat? Unless it's supposed to be like what's it called? Urban Gorilla rules, where Urban Gorilla's whole stand is basically like just this, but it's not a liquid, and it only attacks organic matter.
I don't
if
know.
I recall correctly. I think
stand logistics.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. I think it's just I don't remember that detail that it was like he spit so much in the water that the lapping of the water caused more damage.
I don't know. If only Anasui could have figured it out very quickly. Despite he fixed everything else, but he couldn't figure out what Jolene was telling him when her tongue was like had holes in it.
Yeah, the Jolene tongue thing is also cool, but it gets frustrating immediately because it's like, Jolene, your stand can write words.
Like, oh, you're trying to come on me. She would never. No one would come on to you when you're in a life or death situation with a stand that's like actually physically fucking people up on your boat.
Yeah, and it's also like this is where the humor doesn't really hit too much for me.
Yeah,
I like the part when she grabs his head and keeps like pushing his head away. That part's kind of funny.
Because I don't remember this arc too much, but she could probably easily write out a word of like attack him
Baby
or like
stand.
But she writes the most vaguest thing probably.
What is it like
be all eyes?
Yeah.
I'm like, this is like ranking between baby stand.
I would be, if I was in Anasui's position, which thank God I'm not, I would be so confused as to what she meant by be all eyes.
I'm like
what?
I'm like, imagine a JoJo character in like a Memento scenario. Like we're gonna get a jailhouse lock, but like they do the right everything on them, which I think Jolene does.
I think she might.
But I mean, imagine
JoJo
everything on you. It's just three
just words. It doesn't make sense. It's just confusing code that just like no one can understand.
It's like if Poochie wrote all the steps to heaven on his body and just be like, what the fuck does it mean? Like,
well, rhinoceros beetle. What the fuck?
Virgins 87. I don't know what that means.
Bite of 87.
Bite of 87.
But yeah, and then Anasui does his funny epic attack where he merges the brain of a frog with Yo-Yo Ma.
I would think he somehow attaches like the brain of Yo-Yo Ma into the live subject brain of a frog.
Yes.
So I guess stands have anatomy like that.
I don't know why you're confused by this. This makes perfect sense now.
I literally just assumed that your arm or leg gets fucked up by the stand battle, that just gets fucked up in general. But like I never thought like a fucking stand that just has just the brain. Especially they blew his brains out like 20 times.
The answer is do not think about it, because like ultimately what stands are is just a manifestation of the spirit. There's no reason why it would have a brain, but it doesn't matter because it's funny. It's fucking funny, and I laugh. I laugh at the part when he's like, "Nice booty, Des," or whatever. He literally says,
and he pisses himself and wants to be turned on by a frog. I'm like, he just becomes half frog, half human. This is like.
It is funny that he's like struggling to remember his duty. He's like, wait, no, I can't be a frog. I need to kill Jolene.
So it just like does. This is so stupid. Like, he just, like... Does D&G right now think he's a frog?
It doesn't seem like D&G shares any effects from Yo-Yo Ma.
I guess not. Just his appearance is the same.
What stands? Isn't what's it called? You said ACDC. No, Red Hot Chili Pepper.
Yeah.
Doesn't Red Hot Chili Pepper's user not take any damage?
I think he does.
I'm trying to. There are definitely a few automatic stands.
It's a very long range stand, but like you can't really. It was really hard to harm Red Hot Chili Pepper because it was just electricity. If you touched it, you're fucking electrocuted.
I also know that Red Hot Chili Pepper is not automatic, but
and like the one thing he Red Hot Chili Pepper is very much like Whitesnake, where he controls him at a distance to do his own thing,
and he can speak.
Yes, but
through the sand.
But Poochie kind of treats it like King Crimson with Whitesnake, where he's just like the other character. But we'll get there. But yeah.
So he starts frogging out. He's frogging out. He becomes Mr. Frog.
Is frogging out next to yeeking out?
Yeah. He does. He gets scared of the birds. I think it's funny that every time he looks up, he's like, "The birds!"
The bird eats bugs. And so this is just how they just have it at a standstill. Like, it could just immediately cuts to like FF and like seeing D&G like in like the fucking wreckage of Survivor. And so and we see
it just at this point it feels like he's not even a threat anymore. They just have completely dealt with him.
Yeah, his arm, all the guards show up. So Effie's about to snipe the shit out of him, and she sees Poochie.
And she's like, "Oh shit!"
Poochie is like just talking to himself, and we see Gucci in there, like completely just like fate worse than death of just like his ribs exploding.
And I'm like, "Oh, he's dead." And then you're like. No,
because we seen with fucking we see with what's called Diver Down can just do is just you can just live with your legs fucking mutated and become springs.
Yeah.
Or in his case, just explode his ribs through his back.
That is still the most horrific. The idea of your legs becoming springs.
But you're still
so horrific to me.
But it just becomes that you can just jump really high now. Congratulations. No, but he's talking to him, and then. A moment just straight up out of the beginning of Face Off where he just plays Hallelujah. He plays
Messiah by Handel.
Jim was like, did he just put a real CD into his head? Like, he probably took the memory of someone like hearing it.
That is actually an interesting idea.
I do love that. I wish Poochie did like goofy shit like this more of just like celebrating by playing music through people's heads.
Yeah,
I love that. I love that little Poochie character stuff.
Poochieism. Because Poochie's basically all I want.
Like, he's been a serious character for the entire time, but just to see him act like a goofball and like do his victory, very very much like Kira doing this weird shit like by himself on his own day. It was like the hand stuff and like buying the sandwich, just stupid shit.
Yeah,
I love that.
I like Poochie a lot. Poochie is one of my favorite parts of Part 6. He's so intriguing.
Poochie, FF really carry Part 6.
Yeah, and whoa, I got bad news for you.
I know, but I do love seeing that, and I do love seeing FF like in the medical garb. I like give me an alternate outfit in All-Star Battle with her in the hospital garb with like the jacket like halfway off. It's a good look for her. And I do love the standoff of like, I have the gun to D&G. You want to get him, Poochie. If you are him, it's a good standoff. It's very smart. And like, if you are him, you will stop it. And then during his entire stuff, it's just like, I love Poochie like switches between speaking from himself and then speaking through Whitesnake. Yeah. And I kind of love that shit. Like,
I can't tell. Is it a different voice actor for Whitesnake? I think it is.
Is it?
I'm really bad at telling because I don't speak Japanese, but at least the effects they put on Whitesnake's voice to me make him sound different.
It could.
And I think that's really cool.
It could be a deeper voice. It
also just makes it feel like there's. I like you said King Crimson. Like there's kind of like almost like a two-sided nature of Poochie, where he pretends to be like this noble man of God, but he's actually a deeply closeted bisexual man.
Yeah. Let's okay.
I like that you just said I disagree with that.
Yeah, sure.
Joke.
No, I'm sorry. I was thinking about like anime manga differences. What's it called? Apparently he goes attempts to do a French kiss instead of a standard kiss in the anime or something.
A lot of tongue action. A lot of piss, a lot of tongue in part
he pisses himself. I mean, he pisses himself like a frog.
Yes, he says, I piss myself like a frog does.
Swamp search. I love characters. Swamp searching party. All right. I think next episode is Awaken. The last episode we watched.
Awaken.
Episode 21. So yeah, this is like the after of FF Rip and the green baby stuff. So FF they went through this one quick, the FF Poochie thing.
Yeah.
Which I can't remember how long it was in. Like I said, this whole arc is my least I think I remember the worst.
Because these things are happening at the same time, so I don't know if they do happen in the same way, or it probably would make sense if they did, because it's kind of important that she kills she kills Dolce and Gabbana, and then Yo-Yo Ma dies.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, as you said, like there's a cool standoff.
There's a lot of fight in the ambulance, like trying to the standoff. She hesitates, like some cool like White Snake stuff. I do like the way that she had her disc taken out, and she just shoots her fucking brains out and goes into DNG and just kills them, and then oozes into the front seat to drive away. And then you said, yeah, White Snake just does what Diver Down does and just phase through the front of the ambulance. Just really,
he literally does just phase through. So the ability that's supposed to be like Diver Down's epic thing, he does it. Yeah. But he also attacks her.
So yeah, and then Yo-Yo Ma's like, oh yeah, Yo-Yo Ma's done. FF must have done it.
Yeah, the way that he fades away is really funny too.
It just happens, cuts back. Oh yeah.
Like, oh. So I kind of have a question about this. So what disc did he take the stand?
For what?
What disc did Poochie remove from FF when FF slinked out of the?
I don't think he took it away. He didn't take it away.
Because she is holding
DNG's memory.
Is that what it is? Like,
I think she might be holding DNG's memories, because that's the thing Poochie wants to get for the memories of the child or what he saw.
That's true. Okay, never mind. But yeah, so he removed a disc from her though. Was that supposed to be?
I mean, that's supposed to be either her intellect / stand, I guess, because that's the thing she doesn't want to lose is her intellect. What makes
this is where I'm just a little confused by this, because she was just like a stand.
Yeah.
So that's all she
Poochie
was.
said, I gave you intellect and a stand.
He did.
So I'm wondering if he like gave FF the intellect and separately. Like, whose intellect did he give to FF?
Perhaps he can create these things as well. Like, we know he can't create stands.
You can put any CD in there, so you put like a fucking like an audio book of the universe, or a Stephen Hawking book into the brain.
But so yeah, we have this cool scene where it's like, oh, FF is like, she's more than just a stand, or she's more than just a stand. Now she's like, she has like an identity. She has like a fight that she believes in.
That's why it's cool to see like a mixture of the human design and the original Foo Fighter design kind of combined.
Yeah, she reforms like the what's her name, Atro.
Like
Atro's body.
The top half of Atro and the bottom half of Foo Fighter.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool, and her color, because it's basically just a Foo Fighters, but with the colors,
the black and gold,
or Atro, but the black and gold Foo Fighters colors,
Foo Fighters,
Foo Fighters. But it's really cool. She looks awesome in this, and it's a really great like send off. Because unfortunately,
we cut away to them seeing the green baby, and then we get back, and so Foo Fighters basically makes a dash for it's distracting Poochie. Poochie does the thing where he's alternating who he's talking through, and gets to the water. But Poochie's plan was just like, I inserted another stand into you that does turn water hot.
So yeah, it's a stand that makes water hot. And then he says no sea creature can withstand temperatures above 32 degrees Celsius, which I don't think's true, because I think there are like extremophiles. Like, there are these creatures that they like thrive in like extremely boiling temperatures.
Yeah.
But this is me just being pedantic. Obviously, plankton can't survive. That's the point.
And I'm like, so he drops a stand disc where we've seen that stand disc drop. Like, that's probably how he created Foo Fighters, but dropped a stand. I guess the stand disc of like plankton control, I'm assuming. But this one, he just dropped a second stand, so you can have. He just has two stands in this one into Foo Fighters, and is a self harm stand. And the stand automatically activates. It's not like FF controlling the stand. It's just FF is also causing it to go off.
Yeah, I think this is really contrived. It's. I'm just thinking back to like part 5. Like, when Bruno died, he's killed. Like, Bruno. Well, when I say that, I mean like technically Bruno lives as a zombie afterwards.
He becomes a walking corpse.
I guess you could say
he becomes a zombie.
But like when the fatal blow is made, it is just King Crimson doing it. Like, I don't know why Poochie needs to like throw another stand on the Foo Fighters. It seems kind of weird.
And you know what we saw earlier in the season was when Jolene tried to put Star Platinum in her, it rejected her and punched her away.
That's true.
So I felt like if you try to put more than one stand in you, it rejects it.
I think the idea with that was like Star Platinum is so like bonded to its user that it wouldn't.
Unless it's like the it boiling was like rejecting the two inside. I think that's the stretch I can think of.
It is
because it forcibly gains its ability, and I'm like, so if it forcibly activates, then like no matter when you ever put a stand, even though like, I'm pretty sure like every other person probably put it inside, didn't automatically activate. Like he put Survivor in, and then Survivor's a weird stand, but I think the trigger, I guess, in some way, but. Even the meteors, meteors didn't really activate right away.
He didn't even know what was going on in that fight. He was like, "Oh, I guess I have powers."
It didn't activate until like a good chunk into the fight after he got fucked up.
It's I just think it's kind of weird. I guess the whole point is that Rocky wants to like make a gut punch moment where we think that Foo Fighters really is getting away, and then water is like her thing. So to have water kill her, it's like, oh,
it would be like Whitesnake actually turned up the heat of the water. So yeah, I get fucked.
That's what I thought was happening at first.
Yeah, it's very weird. Or like I threw chemicals that were inside this ambulance that just made heat. Because a chemical reaction or some shit, I don't know.
Yeah, I understand why it's done. Like, I totally get it, because like the whole part of Foo Fighters is that he manipulates stands.
It's a weird way for FF to die.
Yeah, it also makes Poochie seem like more intelligent than the average. He's not just like a punch guy. He's like always thinking about how do I like get the checkmate, and that's his checkmate moment.
Yeah, it's just like I wonder what the name of the stand of like would possibly be. Just heat up water.
Hot heat. It'd be hot
heat. Or I think let's do burning down the house.
It'd be hot blooded.
Ooh, hot blooded.
Hot blooded, and then Foo Fighters' eyes explode. But yeah, sad. Foo Fighter died. She died for our sins.
Unfortunately,
I love that little moment. They do have like a hilarious death flag in the beginning where she's
literally
like,
monologuing.
Yeah, she has her like JoJo monologue.
It's just the Rancha monologue of like all the great memories.
Yeah.
But so yeah, we get then we cut to like, the part that felt like an eternity was the Anasui and Jolene versus the baby.
Which I really liked this in the manga.
Yes,
I thought
agree.
This was really compelling and really scary. Theoretically, because it kind of plays with the idea. There's like a
before we start, remember there was one shot of Whitesnake in the ambulance that was CG for some reason, just stationary, and then it moved in CG to get out of it, which is like very baffling. And then cuts to them being standard animation. It was just a weird use of CG for that.
And this is something I will like die. I will literally die on this hill. Like the CG in this part of JoJo has been so abysmal. The what's the Jumpin' Jack Flash?
Oh my god,
that was so ugly and terrible.
Lang Wrangler fans.
Anyone that tries to fight me on this, like you just know that you have like some sort of like destroyed chemical in your brain that is preventing you from seeing how terrible this looks.
What I'm excited for is CGI rods. I can't wait to see CGI rods.
We'll definitely see CGI rods.
Let's
definitely in a year and a half. But yeah, no.
You're very hopeful there with the year and a half, Jim.
I just absolutely hate the way that the CG has been used in this part.
Yeah,
I've already talked about how unhappy I am with the visuals.
You managed to get through this without complaining about the background.
Well, that's because they weren't. They were outside for most of it, so we couldn't see that one fucking texture that they always use in the wall.
But yeah, I think I definitely agree with you. I think I like the manga version of the baby, which is probably the thing I remember the most from this arc is the baby stuff of like getting closer to the baby shrinks you, and like going above it is like the worst possible decision.
Yeah, and it's one of those stands where like the more you think about it, the scarier it is, because if Jolene had just kept falling, like she would have just been falling forever. Like,
yes,
because it kind of plays with this idea. It's like a philosophy, like not philosophy, but like theoretical mathematics idea where it's like if you are to like divide the distance between like you and an object, technically you could divide it infinite times if you think about like.
You could just fall infinitely. If you're falling from it, you're just going to fall infinitely, too.
Yeah, so like if I'm trying to walk towards you right now, Sam, because I'm looking at you, if I walk halfway to you every time I walk, I will never reach you.
Yes.
Because halfway becomes like a foot, then it becomes 6 inches, then it becomes 3.5 inches, and like it never hits like true zero.
Yes.
Theoretically,
That's why Jolene will never reach it, even if she extends her her string because of that.
Yeah, and she would just keep getting smaller and smaller until they just say like, oh, until you're nothing, but it'd be even more horrific than that. You'd be like tiny.
And I do like the one thing where Anasui like kicks the bottle over there, and the baby's fascination with stuff is like the way to get to it. I do like that.
That is clever, yeah, because it's like how else would you combat this thing? You would need to like think outside of a fight.
Yes, and I forgot the stand actually had an appearance and the name.
Me too. I did.
Green Grass of Home, which I gotta see what it actually is a reference to because it's a Porter Wagoneer song.
Not familiar.
I'm not familiar either, but hey.
But also, I do have to say, I was very confused the part with the bottle because anytime you approach the baby, you shrink. Yes. But Anasui throws the bottle at the baby, and it does not change in size, and then the baby touches it. So the rules just don't really. I don't know. Oh, also, I hate to be like that guy again.
So it didn't have a name originally. It was one of those Joe Veller things. All right,
it was named posthumously.
Yeah, but also the thing where it throws like that really janky looking scene where they're all like hanging on a weird like cliffside and it throws the rock up there. They're like, hold on, and it's like it's really silly looking to me, but
it's one of those things that like similar to I always think back to the end of part 5 with the Oasis versus a Bruno fight. Like in the manga, the lack of seeing a background every panel is acceptable.
And the background was just a weird brown void.
Like when it's animated, the backgrounds are extremely confusing when you think about like, okay, well, in this scene, Jolene and Anasui are like in like a ditch, but then the next scene they somehow go from the ditch into the bottle.
Yeah.
But they don't like jump into the
bottle just appears.
Yeah, it's like, and I'm saying like extremely nitpicky. Like it just doesn't make sense.
It's things we've seen throughout every adaptation where some fights are way better animated and some fights are just way better in the manga. Like I said, the better their superior stuff like BIG was way better in animation, where we had Oasis was way better in manga.
Yeah,
it's just a common thing. Everything can't be like the better.
It's true.
Adaptation, something to animate better or translate better. But yeah, also Diver, like I said, Diver Down can just do whatever by like even taking glass and bending glass.
Yeah, that's a little weird too. It does have a very much like a Part 8 Josuke vibes, where the stand can just kind of do whatever it needs to do at the moment,
or like a Spice Girl thing where it just softens something to like manipulate it more.
That feels like in line with a power, but I'm saying that like these are powers that are inconsistent with what we understand about the stand.
Hey, it just needs whatever it needs to do. Also, like I didn't realize Jolene has her eye blinded, I guess, or
so that was from the
Yo-Yo Ma.
Oh, was it from Yo-Yo? Because I know
her eye.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
She only literally like puts the eye back because she just does it with her string, but like it doesn't fix it completely.
Yeah, which I like that. Also, it's funny that she would be able to sew her tongue up because, like, there was like 90% of her tongue missing.
There was time for like Anasui just having a million holes in him. Like even his hair just had a hole.
The part when his hair had a hole was really funny because if you think about it, like the hair under the hole would just fall out, but no, it just it's magically hovering there.
It's like Giorno getting the holes on his loops, but not like on his actual head.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's when like she gets her like coat goes off there and the baby sees the birthmark and it loves her birthmark
because it has like a connection. It's like, oh, okay, the baby also has a birthmark.
I do find it hilarious that like, oh, it likes the birthmark. And it's like we should just kill the baby. I can kill the baby. I'll tell you again. It says a soft spot. Just like and we can just go in there.
Yeah, you don't have to use a stand.
We should kill the baby.
So yeah, as I said before, conceptually the Green Baby arc very interesting to me. Even the whole thing of like, oh, the fact that it has like a personality, like what is this creature? Like it's so intriguing. Like trying to imagine, it's like the spawn of like
Dio?
A weird, it's like a weird like plant-based organism.
I think a being that is the spawn of a bone, but it was activated from a ghost that's supposed to kind of recreate the
basically Piccolo.
It's kind of, yeah.
It's basically it's like a Namekian.
It's its own thing. It's supposed to be like basically be a 1-for-1 reincarnation. You think it's supposed to be a reincarnation of the being it was, but it kind of became its own thing. And like Poochie doesn't know that if it's alive or if it's like, oh yeah, Jolene and that asshole probably killed it by now or something. And Poochie's like, yeah, you gotta go get him, huh?
He's like, damn.
That. But it's very weird.
So I do have to say, though, I kind of am let down ultimately by what happens with the green baby, because I thought it would be interesting to see, like, what happened. What would it do? Like, would it, like, rapidly mature? Because it has, like, a personality. Like, we see it interact with the world. It's, like, curious. It, like, defends itself.
Also, Anasui gets his legs crushed, which is very funny. Like, they literally even, like, Jolene gets her, like, leg shattered.
They're fine.
That's fine. Anasui's standing up I'm assuming via his diver down being his legs.
Yeah.
But
the third shrinking stand.
There's another shrinking stand in this part. But speaking of that, Jim, you know what it's time for. We have a multi-part Gwest test.
Wait, should we do that at the very end? Do we have anything else to say?
No, it ends with them taming the baby.
And do you have anything else to say before we go into Gwest test?
Nothing. As I said, like I said before, this arc drags along, and it's still, even in anime, it still feels like it drags. Especially this part, and I still don't like it that much.
Yeah, I found this arc in particular to drag, and I didn't even really enjoy it.
As a Yo-Yo Ma stan, though, how do you feel about the treatment of your Yo-Yo Ma?
Honestly, like, it's fine, I guess. I feel like my enjoyment of Yo-Yo Ma has been like a sort of post reading ironic enjoyment, because actually, like, watching this, I didn't feel much about the character.
And as I said, from what I remember from reading this, I remember my biggest thing is not liking it and still having that point of view. I think it started good with, like, the CQC meteors, but then after that got kind of poopy.
At least we have Jailhouse Lock to look forward to.
Yes. It's like, like, it feels weird that Hermes is just not a part of, like, all the Jobers have been, like, effectively, like, together. And, like, they've had a reference of, like, what's it called? Of Weather in the infirmary still from the whole, getting the disc out.
Jump Flash.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, sorry. Yeah, Jump Flash.
Yeah. So.
Flash.
So, like, Hermes, you got your goddamn arc. You're gonna get pushed to the side for now on. You're gonna have one moment, maybe two, and then you're done.
Yeah, I think she doesn't show up again until, like, is it halfway into
going underground? Like, she had another big moment, but, like,
because I know they escaped together. Actually, that might happen in the end of this batch.
Probably.
I think that might be the last episode.
Yeah. But, yeah, other than that, like, I still don't... the arc point of view still has not changed. I still think the very important stuff happens, but, like, the fluff to get to that point of view, I don't like. I think I like the baby in the manga, but, like, everything else is just, like...
I did want to say, with the baby, if I recall correctly... Like, all that happens with it from now on is that it just merges with Poochie.
Yes.
I think that's what happens. And I don't like that. Like, I wish there was more to it.
Yeah, Poochie just gets
it so much happens in the fact that it, like, colonizes all these people's bodies, births itself, and then it, like, has a fight. And for it to just kind of go away, I don't like that.
It would have been interesting if it, like, stayed, like, attached to Jolene, because she had the birthmark, and just, like, her, like, I don't know,
like in Yu Yu Hakusho, he has that, like, weird little, like, Furby on his head for the Dark Tournament arc.
Yes. And it's weird. Like, I gotta be reminded, like, what happened, like, lead up to, like, Poochie getting it, but, like, unless Poochie literally steals it, like, I guess Poochie knows to merge with it, or just merge it with Poochie?
I'm pretty sure it does it without him really realizing it. And then he's like, his eyebrows get
I smell
more
Dio on you, because you...
you smell like my gay lover.
You smell like...
You smell like my hubbo.
the strong bisexual Dio. But
radiant bisexual Dio.
So can we do the Gwest test now?
Yes, we can finally do your Gwest test.
All right.
Your precious Gwest test.
We have a multi-part Gwest test of this. First off,
Oh wait, sorry, I'm gonna interrupt you again. Last time, I believe I asked people to respond to the Gwest test, and you'd be surprised. Most people did think that Gwest would provide an advantage
for Dragon Dream.
For Dragon Dream, and I think it was more so the one before that.
The meteors.
Whatever it's called.
Waves.
Planet waves.
Planet waves.
Yeah. Most people agreed with you. I was in the firm disagreement, but all right. Gwest test reminder.
For Yo-Yo Ma.
Write GT in your comment. And then say yes, no, yes or no if you think Gwest test would be good or bad in this fight.
So Yo-Yo Ma, what do you think? Either her being on the boat with them would help more, or her going to, like, help out FF more? But
so Yo-Yo Ma could shrink, or sorry,
okay,
Gwest test could shrink Yo-Yo Ma. Correct.
Okay, because Yo-Yo Ma, even though Jolene set herself up to be bitten, he would bite people, but he doesn't.
No, he does not.
So I think she could shrink if she shrinks Yo-Yo-Ma enough, the mosquitoes won't be into his saliva. So it won't lead to him, unless he goes over there and drools. Or maybe they shrink him, just knock him away. Like, oh yeah, we don't need him anymore.
No, but they need the baby, the green baby inside
They do need the baby. To shrink him down
Would
there.
Would that destroy the baby? Would that destroy the child?
Destroy the child, yeah. Shrink, I don't know, maybe shrink him enough that the mosquitoes won't get into his saliva. That's the only thing I can think of.
I would say, I'll give Gwest the advantage in Yo-Yo-Ma. I would say that the Gwest test would pass.
She would, and like he wants to be a servant, and Gwest gets off on like having like, little servants.
True. She could just throw him in her pocket.
True. A little pocket, a little outfit. Or she stuffs him in an outfit so he can't do anything when he's stuck in a bird outfit.
That's true.
I think advantage Gwest.
All right, next one.
The baby. Could Gwest conquer the green baby?
I don't see any way that her power would give her an advantage at all in this situation.
But I think she has a strong affection for tiny little things that the baby would be drawn to Gwest's personality alone.
This is like that's such a strange leap of logic. But no,
not the longest leap though. The schlongest leap.
But she can't get close to it. She can't approach the green baby.
But she get she has enough stuff in her pockets to get the attention of the baby.
What's she have in her pockets?
She would adopt the baby as her own.
What's in Gwest's pockets? What is this?
What is she cooking?
What
Jim?
is this new angle that we're bringing?
What is she cooking?
I thought we were going by this the powers, not like her.
The powers, but she also had
fucking inventory.
I feel like she can get. I'm not sure how the range, but
you're crazy.
I think she could tame the green baby.
No, I think you're absolutely insane. I think there's no way that Gwest could beat the green baby.
If you shrink the baby, can you get closer to it from the range? What does the range of the baby do?
It does an inverse, so she actually starts growing.
Double shrink backfire makes it grow.
I would say no. Gwest fails the Gwest test for this one.
All right. What about Gwest and Poochie? Like, if Gwest was there with FF to help assassinate DNG,
there.
Should she get the shot on DNG or Poochie, or get FF away? Could she do anything to be of assistance in that?
Her shrinking is pretty quick.
Because Poochie wasn't a Poochie stan.
That's true.
It's a stan I think she got from the Arrow when she bought it.
From being a pervert.
Yes, her being a fucking pervert.
He like immediately sticks it up her butt.
Probably. Would she provide any assistance to that scenario? Because
I honestly don't know where I fall on. I need
because Goo Goo Dolls can harm people. It can
harm people. Yes.
It can harm people. Fuck you. What do you think?
I think that we could potentially see Foo Fighters surviving with Gwest dying. I think a death needs to happen here.
So do you think she can get away with either Gwest or...
I think there's a chance that she could have distracted Poochie long enough for Foo Fighters to get her her lower half away.
Just shrink Poochie, but the discs are like too big for him to hold. Yeah. A disc so big that not even Poochie
can hold it.
No, Poochie has discs in his clothes.
It's true.
And a disc so big that the disc crushes Poochie. Checkmate, Poochie.
That would be.
It was his Hallelujah CD that he carries with him.
That would be a sight to behold.
I always think of there's this one gag in Simpsons where there's a guy they think is like angel, like a guardian angel. Like, I finally earned my wings, and he pulls out a CD of just the Wings album, and so it's just a normal CD for Poochie, so it just crushes him. No, my weakness was I carried a CD of the Hallelujah. It's all it is on the CD.
He's truly hoisted by his own petard.
But I think that's the way Gwest could help and win that fight by crushing Poochie via CD.
I like how every Gwest test is just you saying, no, Gwest would win. Every single time. It's
like copium.
You're just like, no, Gwest would win this.
Gwest would win.
I would say Gwest would win Yo-Yo-Ma, but she would lose. I think she would lose her life, but it would save FF. It could give FF the chance to actually get away and not get another stand.
And would lose to Green Baby, what you're saying.
Oh, I forgot about Green Baby. Yeah, lose to Green Baby.
Okay.
There's no way she could beat Green Baby.
I think she has that charm to draw the baby.
Once again, completely ignoring the fight aspect of this. Just, oh yeah, she's very nice and she has a lot of things in her pocket that she could throw and distract the baby.
If this baby is curious, would see a fucking stuffed bird that she has ready to go, or a little tiny rat carved outfit.
Just the idea that she carries these with her at all times.
Of course she does. She's gross. Throws her.
Of course she does.
Throws her beanie on the ground. And baby be like, I want to be the bling baby from part 8.
All right. Is that it?
I think so.
Okay, let's end this.
I'm curious to see everybody else's Quest test results.
Yeah, put your Quest test results in the comment below.
Anything else you want to say about this? No? Get it? You want to video over with?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for listening to this collection of 3 episodes.
We're going to finish it up next time. Tune in next week.
For the finale of Batch 2.
Damn, then we get to wait how much? 2 months? 2 years?
We'll see how the betting for that.
So this one only took, I think, 8 to 9 months?
It was like less than a year, because I'm pretty sure we got them in what, very beginning of September?
Yes.
And the first batch came out like the end of like December or something.
Yes.
So we'll see when that comes out. Maybe they'll be like, oh, maybe we want people not to be angry at us. But we'll see what anime that we cover comes out during that batch. Because I swear to God, if it comes out during the final season for Attack on Titan, I'd be very pissed.
Maybe. Wait, no, I feel like final season is coming out like. It should be coming out soon. It should be coming out in like in winter, right?
Jujutsu Kaisen comes out in winter this year.
Jeez, really?
So it could be spring or summer. I'm betting bet it could be summer if at earliest.
I guess we'll find out.
But we'll see what we get.
Stay tuned, Joe Kakaga faithful.
Yeah. I guess I can plug it up. What do we need to plug, Jim? Plug the holes in the heads of Yo-Yo Ma and Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
The gaping wounds. Thank you so much for listening. Again, like we mentioned, you can check out our Attack on Titan series if you haven't already. But you also like the video, comment your Quest test results and whatever feelings you have about this arc. You can subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell. You can also follow me or Jim on Twitter or the podcast itself. You can also join the Discord to discuss JoJo and everything else about that. And I feel that's unless you have anything else you're looking for on your phone.
No, I'm trying to see if there's a date for Attack.
I don't think there was a date other than it's probably coming sometime next year.
You're probably right. It probably is going to be spring or summer.
Because I feel like they have a lot on their plate right now. That studio,
but it's only going to be like 8 episodes. It's going to be a short season.
They're probably going to stretch it out.
They said it's going to be like 8 episodes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know they say how many episodes.
I'm pretty sure they confirmed that it's only going to be like. It's going to be like a mini season.
I need to see what pisses off people. I already have my predictions. Yeah. We're going to do like a live stream or another short video of like what I think is going to happen by the end.
Yeah, we'll definitely do. Oh, that'll be a lot of fun. Okay, well, yeah, we'll talk about this off air.
Some future stuff. And with that, we'll see you next time on the finale of Part 6 Batch 2.
PSIS.